the last few days of November and the first week in December. We will be there with Rocky Mountain College if they make it, and it sure looks like they will at this point as the NAIA gives an automatic berth to the top 20. Well, we're about ready for our Warrior Wishes group to do their presentation, and we want to welcome our viewers on YouTube tonight as well. So for YouTube, we'll keep it right here and keep the mic open for the National Anthem and Flag presentation, and for KURL Radio, we will take a 3-minute break. Back in 3 minutes.
Between Lewis Clark State Warriors and your 8th ranked Rocky Mountain College Battlin Bears. At this time, we ask that you please stand, remove any headgear, and direct your attention to the south of the gym as our friend from Warrior Wishes, Montana, present today's colors. Please remain standing for the playing of our national anthem. Let's meet today's starting lineups. First, for the visiting Warriors. Outside hitter in 7, Brooke Kaava.
Back at Rocky Mountain College, glad to have you back, and let's take a look at our LC State volleyball players. Number 1, they'll be on our left side of our screen on YouTube wearing the dark blue jerseys, some of my favorite color patterns of the conference. Hannah Pond is a 5'7" junior from Grandview, Washington. Number 2 is Jordan Phelan, a 5'9" outside hitter, a junior from Spokane. Number 7 is Brooke Kaava, a 5'9" outside hitter, a junior from Mauna Loa, Hawaii. Number 8 is Rachel Gregg, one of the best players in the country, a 6-foot senior outside from Eagle River, Alaska. Number 10, Olivia Jarvis, a 5'11" senior middle blocker from Orem, Utah. Number 11, Aubrey King, a 6'1" right side senior from Malad, Idaho. Number 15 is Alexa Van Vliet, a 6-foot middle hitter from Preston, Idaho, a senior. Number 18 is Sydney Lawrence, a 6-foot middle blocker, a junior from Pullman, Washington. Number 19 is the Libero. She's wearing the light gray jersey. Gianni Brown, a 5'3" junior from Phoenix. And the setter is number 22, a 5'7" senior from San Diego, and she is Lauren West. Let's take a look at our hometown Rocky Mountain College Battlin Bears. It'll be number 2, Krista Judish, wearing the green jerseys to our right with the gold lettering. She is from Conrad, Montana, a 5'9 senior DS. Number 3, Haley Kapinga, 5'10 senior from Billings. She is a right side. Number 4, Daniela Russell, a 5'9 junior from Red Lodge, an outside hitter. Number 5 is Ruby Collenbeck, a 5'7 senior libero from Forsyth. Number 7, Annie Cook, a defensive specialist from Joliet, a 5'8 junior. Number 9, Natalie Hilderman, a 6'1 sophomore setter from Red Lodge. Number 10, Miranda Gallagher, a 6-foot middle junior from Lead, South Dakota. Number 11, Olivia Lamy, a 5'9 senior from Casper, Wyoming, a middle and an outside. And number 16, Naomi Badbear from senior high here in Billings, a 6-foot junior middle. And doing not too bad at it either. The LC State Warriors come in hitting 192, giving up 128, just under 2 aces per set, 12 assists, just under 16 digs per set, and 1.6 blocks per set. The Battlin Bears blocking at a 2-4-8 ratio. That's not too bad. They are hitting at 221, giving up 129, 12.3 kills per set, just over 1 ace per set, and one of the nation's leaders as far as teams in defense, as they are tallying almost 20 digs per set. So you ready for some good volleyball? Usually these two teams get after it pretty good. Rocky coming off pretty challenging match that Coach Kelly described as good for them the other night, as they really got into a grind it out, have to make the play to win kind of scenario, and that was pretty good after having teams like Western in the building. And starting first at serve, the setter for LC, Lauren West, and she will start from the right corner, and we are underway. Cross court to Judish, pop up, covered by Collenbeck. Cross court swing by Lamy, and it's down, and just like that, the Battlin Bears have the lead. System kill there. It started with a little bit of an off-target pass receive, but it turned into a good thing. Hildeman loads it up all the way back to Brown, and through the block and down for Rachel Gregg. Boy, watch her. She has a ton of skills here in the front row for LC State. And we will try to track down their stat sheets and fill you in with some of those details. Gregg loads it up, takes it back to Judish. Better pass this time. The set to Kapinga. Brown has that dump shot covered, rolled over by LC. Hildeman goes back to Kapinga. Another dig on Kapinga to the near side. High bounce off the block, covered by Lamy. The set goes back to Lamy, and she misses. And LC has the 1-point lead. Gregg will go back to serve to try to push some points. This is a pretty relaxed team out here from the Warriors. Kind of fun to see that, as they were warming up with a lot of skill, a lot of fun, a lot of noise, and into the net for Gregg. Ties it up on the service error. You can kind of read teams as far as where they're at in their season and their temperament just by kind of watching the warm-ups and listening to them, watching the faces. Of course, I'm right here at courtside, so that's always a little easier for me. Lauren West gets the kill from Alexa Van Vliet, who saw the open back line and hit it. 3-2 LC, side out LC. And Gianni Brown, the libero, goes back to serve. Brown gathers herself as we wait, now loads it up, sinks it over to Daniela Russell, the quick to Badbear, knocked back by the middle of that line, Aubrey King. Russell hits it off the block of King to the backside. King hits it off the block of Badbear, trading the hits there. Big swing from the outside for Kaava, dug out by Rocky. Brown, West, to the backside to Gregg. She gets dug out by Judish, pushed over by Collenbeck to the back row. Gregg has the dig. Aubrey King once again puts it over for the kill. King goes down the line, got a little bit of a deflection from the Bears, and LC State has doubled up on Rocky. And Gianni Brown will try to load it up again and fire a serve for the LC State Warriors. She shoots it hard and deep. Judish has been getting all the sets so far. Russell with a smash. You heard the thump on YouTube around the world and on your KURLradio.com website as Russell put some wood to that one. Side out Rocky. Annie Cook will go back to serve for the Battlin Bears. Football team looks like they're here in the building. Good pass on the backside from Gregg to the middle and down the line for Brooke Kaaba. Hits the back corner. A little bit of daylight there by Annie Cook. And Kaaba hit it perfectly. And back to serve goes Jordan Phelan. Phelan from the left side. Shoots it deep, perfectly inside the back line. Hildeman loads up Kapinga. Kapinga rolls it over the top, covered. Here's the set to the backside, once again to Gregg. Gregg dug out by Collenbeck, push at the net. Net violation, Rocky, point LC. 6-3 LC. I think it was Hildeman that drifted into the net. Watch your replay when you get a chance. And back to serve again goes Jordan Phelan. Phelan loads up the three-step jumper and doesn't get it to the net. And that'll hand the serve back to Rocky. 6-4 in the first third of the first set. We're at Rocky Mountain College on YouTube and KURLradio.com. Kapinga loads up that left hand. Shoots it to Phelan. West takes it to Kaava, and she misses. Tried that corner again. This time she had her hips turned a little bit and missed it to the inside. And Rocky's within one as Kapinga gets set to load it up. Looks over at Coach Kelly for the signal on location. West, the dump shot. Here's the big swing, pushed over by Sydney Lawrence. Lawrence to Russell. Russell into the corner, pushed up by Brown. And that's going to be a double called on Lauren West. And sounds like we lost our KURLradio.com, so we will check back with them. All tied up at 6 as Kapinga loads it up. And we'll try to do that during a timeout. Brown, big swing from the middle, jammed into the block by Lawrence, and it's LC's point for the lead. Sydney Lawrence gets the point. And back to serve goes Hannah Pond. Pond looks like she's setting up in that wraparound move where she comes from off the floor. Now loads it up from the left corner, shoots it down the line. Kapinga up to Hildeman. Back row attack from Kapinga. Dug out perfectly by Pond. Swept into the air by Collenbeck. Here comes the free ball by Miranda Gallagher. And Phelan gets under it to the outside to Gregg. Through the block and down. The thumper is back in the front row for LC State, and Rachel Gregg finishes it. Hannah Pond goes back to serve. 8-6 LC. We're in the first third. And Pond will load it up and delicately hit the line with it. Russell blocked back at the net by Lawrence. Free ball. This one has to be over, and Gregg gets the kill off the top of the block. Gregg on the kill, high bounce off the block, and she is as good as billed. And back to serve goes Hannah Pond. First break we get, we will try to get our KURLradio.com group back on the line. Annie Cook, the set to Kapinga, bounced high in the air by the defense. West to the outside, a double called on that set by Lauren West. And it's 9-7, side out Rocky. And back to serve will go Daniela Russell. Russell from the left corner. Phelan has it on target pass. Out to Gregg. She gets picked off on one heading out of bounds. The set to Lamy off the top of the block. Pushed over the net by Lawrence. The big swing by Gregg. She still finishes it. First she got bailed out by the back row of Rocky. And then she got the set back and finished it the second time on the second load. And Alexa Van Vliet will come into the game for LC State. And back to serve goes Sydney Lawrence. 10-7, LC State first set. Deep ball to Cook. Here's Hilderman to Lamy. Lamy, the live arm, hits the back line. Boy, there are so many weapons on this Rocky Mountain team. There are 3 hitters with over 230 kills on the season, led by Olivia Lamy, but that is good balance to have that many hitters that are used to seeing it go down, and a missed serve by Miranda Gallagher, and a grimace on her face as she comes to the sideline. Back in the game for Aubrey King. And back to serve, Lauren West, the setter. West will set up about even with the basketball hoop here. Had 2 games here already today, which has kept the athletic director busy. There's an ace for Lauren West. And the lead is 4. And we're going to see a substitution here. I thought I had my timeout to reconnect my digital bunch on KURLradio.com, but instead it's a substitution. That brings in Caitlin Heaslip. And Lauren West will go back to work at serve. She has 26 aces on the year. The put down behind the block, net violation Rocky. 5-point lead for LC. Overpass, put away, happy times for the front row of LC State. And Lauren West will continue to pound the ball. The best server on the team for LC, but there's several other good ones. LC has always had really good serving teams. A little shank by Heaslip. Lami's got to get it over, tries the donut hole, covered by Gregg to the backside. Aubrey King puts it away off Ruby Collenbeck. There's our timeout. So 14-8 LC. And we will get our friends from KURLradio.com back and come back in 60 seconds. Okay, yeah, because I could hear you the whole time. I heard your little message, so anyway, well, okay, thank you.
Fall in love with your home all over again. Pella Windows and Doors makes replacing your windows and doors easy from start to finish. Beginning with an in-home consultation, a Pella expert will assist you in selecting the right products for you and your home. Interest-free financing or longer-term solutions are available. Let your Pella expert manage your project from start to finish. Meet your Pella expert at the Pella Showroom, 2520 Grand Avenue or PellaMT.com.
Lauren West has her team up by 6 for LC, and she will see if she can keep that pain going. All the way back to Heaslip, up to Hildeman, to set out to Lamy, system approach, and Brown gets under it, keeps it alive. Pushed over by Phelan with a back row attack. There's Hildeman's blind dump, and Gregg was all over it. Pushed over by Lawrence. Lawrence knocked back by Rocky, but no one covers. 3 players standing around singing Kumbaya, but none of them played it. And that's a big side out for Rocky out of the timeout, 14-9. And back to serve goes Natalie Hilderman. A rocket down the line. Hannah Pond has the play. 3 ball over to Rocky, but it's tight to the net. That should have been called a double there. Somehow LC keeps it alive. Kapinga with the push. Swept out of the net. This one has to be over, but the left hand of Brown dials it wide. Oh my. This is going to be one of those nights where nothing hits the floor unless you've really earned it. And even when you really earn it, it might not hit the floor. 14-10. LC giving up some points here. Here's West to the backside. Big swing from Gregg, covered. And a hit out of bounds by Kapinga. She's trying to get the tip call, and no one saw it who has any authority. So side out LC, and Gregg will go back to serve. Boy, these rotations are whipping through here. This is like Gregg's 3rd time around, and we're only halfway through the first set. Rachel puts it in play back to Collenbeck. Kapinga, the quick, and she finds the corner. The flying Kapinga set up. They ran the play with Bad Bear and Kapinga. Kapinga got that tip. LC was frozen for a split second, just enough for Kapinga to cash it in. Ruby Collenbeck back to serve. Rocky within 4. Down the line, Gregg has the on-target pass. The quick to Lawrence, tip behind the block. Right there is Russell. Here's Kapinga on the tip. Brown right there waiting. Lauren into the block. And a lift is called on Rocky. Naomi Bad Bear got too much hand on that one. 16-11. And Gianni Brown, the libero, goes back to serve. They have watched some film on Rocky because they're covering all the sweep plays that seem to work, first time at least through the rotation by Rocky. They've covered the blind dump by Hildeman. They've covered the Kapinga tips. Here's the push with the left hand. Net violation LC that time, as Daniela Russell hangs around in the air and finally pushes it over, and Rocky, fighting hard, is back to within 4, 16-12. Annie Cook back to serve. Cook settles everyone down, and now we have a wet spot on the floor, so we are going to clean that up with the help of Brooke Kaava. Got a very careful pronunciation of that name from Coach Pullman, much to my appreciation. I would have messed that up all night if he hadn't come over and helped me with that one, so a big thank you to Sean Pullman for keeping me from messing up a name. Set to the backside. Aubrey King celebrates with a fist pump. And that's a good thing for LC, 17-12. And enthusiasm and momentum on the Herm Elenbaas momentum meter is leaning over to the LC side, almost pegged over there right now. And Jordan Phelan goes back to serve. She'll float it over to Cook. The set to the backside. Kapinga off the top of the block. Covered by Gregg. Set to the outside. Kaava rolls it over the top to Cook. Here's Russell. Russell to the floor. A little touch by Lauren West. Slowed it down and helped it find the floor. And Daniela Russell has been the answer several times so far in this match. We're slogging our way through the middle third of the first set. 17-13 LC. Kapinga. Hard serve to the backside. Kaava off the aerial. Point Rocky. Little tight to the aerial on the set from King. And Rocky's as close as it's been for about 8 points. You might have to readjust that aerial because Kaava laid a pretty good section of that ball into it. Not any mystery on that call for the upright. Kapinga waits politely. You could put that word at the end of almost anything she does. And Haley will load it up from the right side. Gianni Brown, flat pass to West. They go out to Kaava. He can't get in, she can't get anything on it, but the cover's not there because Gallagher and Hilderman are all tangled up on the front. It's kind of a weird thing. Usually you see players coming at that ball. That wasn't even a hard one, but Hilderman and Gallagher are going to laugh it off. Don't see that too often with those two. And Jordan Phelan, no Panapon, is going to come from around the corner and load up the serve. Colin Beck has the pass popped up. Here's Russell with it off the net set. She twists it off the block of Rachel Gregg to the floor. Sweet play there. Russell moves off the line. Rocky back within 3. Don't count them out in this first set. Adrenaline may wear off here for LC. That ball played on the back line. Phelan pushes it over. Hildeman out to Lamy. Lamy straight down. Hung in the air. Curled the wrist over and put it to the floor with overspin. That's how you do it on the training films. And Rocky is roaring back. They're within 2, 18-16. Daniela Russell back to serve. Russell, hard shot to the back line. Hannah Pond gets there. Back row attack to Phelan. All she can do is push it over. Here's Lamy again, this time dug out by Phelan. West to the outside. Gregg into the block. Stuffer for Natalie Hildeman. And she has a look of determination on her face, and now Sean Pullman has seen all but 1 point of his huge lead go away. And Rocky's closing in as the momentum meter shifts back to them, back in 30 seconds. Big thank you to all of our sponsors who make these volleyball broadcasts possible on your radio and on the internet. And also want to welcome our YouTube viewers tonight who are enjoying this broadcast with all the glory of live video right in front of you. It's already been a good match with this first set as LC roared out. They hit the hot streak, could do no wrong, and now Rocky is dug in, held their ground, and fought back to it in one. Daniela Russell back to serve as we will re-engage out of the timeout. And she will loop it to the near side. Here's West. The slide set, perfect. Good call from Sean Coleman. He calls the slide set to Sydney Lawrence for the finish. And it's a 2-point lead for LC. And they're hoping to grab some of that momentum back and close out on Rocky as Sydney Lawrence goes back to serve. Tries the short one. Kapinga scoops it up. The set out to Lamy, and a double is called on the set. There's that double call again, 20-17. That's probably the hardest call for a viewer, or for sure a radio listener, to figure out what it is. But even when you're looking at it on YouTube, that's a really hard one to see. I mean, you can see a miss, you can see a net serve, and that's hard off the block and down for Miranda Gallagher. Side out Rocky. But boy, those doubles and sometimes the lifts are hard to call as well. 20-18, LC first to 20, and they're going to try to win the sprint to 25. Into the game comes Caitlin Heaslip. Heaslip will load it up from the near side. She's from Puyallup, Washington. Cross court, Pond sweeps it into the air. West, back row attack, Phelan. High bounce off the block, stabbed into the air by Collenbeck. Here's Lamy, cross court, Pond has the dig, run down by Gregg. Free ball coming up from Phelan. All the way back to Kapinga. Here's Hildeman setting up Lamy for the kill. 1-point game. You could see that coming as the block was cheating over. And right there in front of us, Lamy had the single block. For the tie, Caitlin Heaslip loads it up, sends it back to Pond. West is going to try Sydney Lawrence. He gets wood to that one, and Collenbeck never had a chance. She overran it a little bit. Even if she'd been right there, might not have gone down. Give Van Vliet that kill. Alexa Van Vliet. Into the game comes Aubrey King. And back to serve goes Lauren West. The Warriors up again by 2. And West will take the 5-step approach, go cross court. Heaslip steers it over to Hildeman. Lamy will try a dump shot. A little bit of a shank, still live. Can it go? No, it's going to be a point. Lamy gets the kill. 3 players gave it their all for LC, but they didn't want to get that cement makeup on them by running into the wall. 21-20. LC still clinging to the 1-point lead. Hildeman deep, gets the ace, we're tied up. A shankopotamus by Hannah Pond, and we're tied up at 21. Rocky had spotted LC at least a 5 or 6 point lead in the early going, and that prompts the timeout from Sean Pullman as the adrenaline and the momentum kind of even right now. We're back in 30 seconds. Herm Elenbaas back on YouTube and KURLradio.com. Crowd's a little bit of a stretch tonight to say there's a good attendance. There's a huge football game going on about a mile and a half away between 2 local schools who are still in the running for playoffs, and that probably drew quite a few people. And there's high school volleyball going on all over the place, so people that are here are going to be glad they're here because they're part of a Frontier Conference match. And now the whistle. Hildeman let him go back and reload. Big swing from Lawrence, but it's not going to be kept over. And the up rep almost got knocked off his stanchion, and he's going to have to go back to work and reattach his ladder over there because Kapinga got under it. And now he's tightening everything up. And in the middle of all that, LC grabbed the 1-point lead. Huge swing from the outside by Lawrence again. Boy, there's some poppers on this LC team as well. Rachel Gregg back to serve. Takes the deep breath, puts it cross court. He slip, sets up Hildeman. The dump shot. Brown is there, gets the tie. Brown got there, but had no oomph left to get it in the air. And how about that for timing by Natalie Hildeman? That's just a feel thing. You can't go out and scout that. You just got to feel when that's possible. Brown on target. The set to Kaaba is down. Brooke Kaaba gets the lead for LC. And we could be going to extra numbers here in the first set. 23-22. Gianni Brown back to serve. It's no mistake time for either team, and that usually produces some pretty good rallies. Brown has her focus. Now we'll load it up with the two-step approach. Right on the line. Russell plays it. The set back to Russell. Off the block and down for the tie. Russell just inside the aerial. She couldn't have had a half inch between that swing and the aerial. And then it hit the block and tooled her out. 23-23. Annie Cook back to serve to try to get the lead for the home team. And almost got the ace. There's some wood splints on that ball and put away on the front row. LC gets the point. Straight to the floor, and LC has Rocky at set point. Huge swing from Aubrey King. And Sean Pullman has a bunch of gals out here that don't want to give up. And they got the lead. They got Rocky at set point. Back to serve Jordan Phelan. Phelan down the line to Cook. Here's Hildeman outside Russell. They load up their big hitter. Passed up by Gregg into the net. And a miss for no, a tip, and that's it. Off the block. It looked like it sailed out, but it did because it feathered off the block. And in the first set, LC comes into Rocky Mountain College, who's undefeated, and hands them a first set loss. We're back in 2.5 minutes. Well, that was about the highest hitting set I've seen all year here at Frontier Conference Schools. 395 for LC State. 18 swings, 38 swings, 18 kills, 3 misses. And Rocky, not bad either, 293, 15 kills, 41 swings, only 3 misses. 8 digs already for Rachel Gregg in her all-purpose capacity for the Warriors. Here's Hilderman to start off the second set. Brown on target with the set to West, pushed over by Van Vliet. The bump set to Lamy. She tries the tip. Brown gets under it. To the outside to Gregg, and she jams it into the corner for the kill. 2 sets in a row now. Gregg has started with a kill, and let's check her numbers. Rachel Gregg, let's see, how about 4 of 10, 300. 1 miss. So 10 swings, and Lauren West back to serve for the Warriors. Boy, that's a rocket ball, almost an ace, and somehow Bad Bear gets it over. Pushed over by Lamy to the open corner. Olivia Lamy hung around, saw the open corner develop, and plastered it. How'd Lamy do in that first set? How about 6 kills, 12 swings, 417 on just 1 miss. So Olivia Lamy with a red-hot start. Here's West, bump set to the outside, off the block. Aubrey King gets blocked back. They set up King again. That one's off the block on the floor. The reload, and the celebration had to avoid a collision there between Gregg and King. That second load had some thunder on it. Into the game comes Brooke Kaava. 2-1 Warriors. Already the 1-set lead here at Rocky. And back to serve Rachel Gregg down the line. Russell has the perfect pass. They load up Russell. That's going to go into the crowd, give Russell the kill. Gregg was right there, just could not steer it back to her teammate, so we're on to the court. Annie Cook will come in for the Battlin Bears. She's got a lot of bounce in her step as she makes a good play on the ball from the ball boy. And Annie Cook will load up the left hand. Try the sinker ball. Brown gets on it. Bump set for the back row attack from Gregg. High bounce. Read perfectly by center fielder Haley Kapinga. Lauren will load it up again. They try a play, and they got the same play to work. Aubrey King. They ran that middle slide where 2 players have a chance, and the block is all spread out trying to cover 2 players running at him. And it worked to perfection. Aubrey King collects the kill. 3-2 with emphasis. And Gianni Brown waits to serve. And waits. And now she'll load it up. Go cross court. Little quick swing to the ace. Russell, no match for that from Gianni Brown. And I think Gianni was one of the leaders in aces as well for the LC State Warriors. Try to track that down for you. 4-2 LC. There's that quick wrist shot. Back to Kapinga. On target pass. The set to Kapinga on the floor. Got right past Rachel Gregg. And Gregg's a busy gal tonight. She gets most of the swings when she's in the front row. She gets back row attacks, and then she plays some D. That is an opportunity to use all of your body muscles. Gregg, a little bit of a pop-up from Kapinga. Back row attack to Gregg into the net. Mini meltdown here for Gregg. And LC has let Rocky tie it up. Might be time to go back to Lawrence. She had a lot of thunder. Or King or Van Vliet. Here's Kapinga. A little help with the coaching there by B. Gianni Brown gets it up to West. They load up Kaava. And a kick save for Kaava. Beautiful. Run down by Brown. Pushed over by Van Vliet. Swept into the air for Russell. The shoot set back to Russell. Blocked right back to Russell. Bump set. Russell reloads. A block back by LC. Lawrence is there. Lawrence, one-arm stab, keeps it alive. Hilderman tries again to the other side. This time Miranda Gallagher dug out by Gregg. Here's Aubrey King. She gets dug out by Rocky. Great rally. Back to King. Cross court. Swept into the air by Kapinga. Back row attack. Haley Kapinga off the block. Brown flies right past Aubrey King, and she keeps her composure. Pushed back by Gallagher. Pushed back by Rocky. And finally, a push to the corner finds the little crease where the 2 lines meet. Awesome rally, 5-4. LC is the seeing eye push to the corner, a frantic rally. And we're going to see a substitution as into the game comes Caitlin Heaslip for Annie Cook. And Jordan Phelan will go back to serve for the Warriors. Herm Elenbaas on KURLradio.com and YouTube. A little conversation here between the up ref and Captain Kapinga. No relation to Captain America. And Jordan Phelan now ready. Got to mic up these refs sometimes, hear what those conversations are. If this was the Olympics, they would be doing that. The bump set to Russell. Have to talk to my friend Desmond here about micing up the refs. Cross-court swing, miss. Phelan just a little long, and we're tied up at 5. Just missed the back line. And Daniela Russell will go back to serve, and red-hot Olivia Lamy will come into the front row. She has been very effective tonight. Russell down the line to Brown, pop-up. Called off by Phelan. Back row attack for Gregg. She misses badly. And Gregg has lost her targeting system here over the last few minutes. She'll get it back. 6-5. Rocky has the 1-point lead. Daniela Russell from Red Lodge goes back to serve. Phelan on target to West. They do the slide set to the backside, and Lawrence had to wait to come down. Here's Lamy for another kill. We called it. Yep, she's still hot. They had to do a heat check with her. See if she's still got that lightning arm, and if it's working, and she's okay, folks, if you're rooting for Rocky Mountain College. And the Battlin Bears take the 2-point lead as Russell goes back to serve, shoots it down the line to Phelan, pop-up, Brown, bump set. Here's Kaava, big smash over to Russell, and she handles it. Pushed over by Lamy. Who's West going to? To Lawrence, how about? Jammed into the block, stabbed into the air by Gallagher. Beautiful reflex play there, and Kaava goes off the aerial for the miss. 8-5. And Kaava right in front of me has got some hops as well. Fun to see these extremely hoppy women. They're happy when they win, they're hoppy when they play. And back to serve goes Russell. She just missed the back line. LC was calling off their teammates, and that barely missed, but it worked. That's one of those, that's the way it'll show up in the stats as a miss, but that was an almost miss. And back to serve for the Warriors goes Hannah Pond. And Pond went to the Gianni Brown School of Focus and finally lets it go. The set to Lamy. Splits the defenders, Phelan and Pond. And Olivia Lamy is leading the way for her team in attack, and Rocky is up by 3. Rocky down by 1 set. Miranda Gallagher back to serve for the Battlin Bears. And she'll take it back to Pond. Perfect pass to Lauren West. Phelan would have missed it, but Kapinga stuck an arm in there and gave up the kill. Jordan Phelan hit a heavy ball there, and Kapinga was already committed to the defense and gave up the kill. 9-7. Side out LC. Sydney Lawrence back to serve for the Warriors. Hope we have some people listening in Lewiston tonight. And if you do, get on that chat room thing and tell us you were there. Hilderman loads out to Lamy, and that's a kill. Olivia Lamy, remember the name. She's got a huge night in the making. And Rocky has the 3-point lead in the second set. And Natalie Hilderman calling out orders to her team. Not bad for a sophomore. The set to Gregg. Gregg's back. Gregg got a perfect set right in front of us, and she hammered it. 10-8. And Gregg's in the front row now, and so is Aubrey King. This could be clobbering time, as they say on the Avengers, for LC. Lauren West will deal it. And gets the ace. Oh my, here comes LC. 10-9. Lauren West, too much for the receiver on that one, Ruby Collenbeck. And now LC trying to get the lead, get the tie. And into the net, get one, give one kind of thing. And Rocky reestablishes the 2-point margin at 11-9. Ruby Collenbeck back to serve. So LC made a little move there as a real good rotation went through, and now they got to fight back. The quick set, pushed over with one hand by Van Vliet. Kapinga back to Brown. Brown calmly handles the dig. Here's Gregg. She has to get a set inside the aerial, and a lift is called on the set by Van Vliet. A double on the backup setting situation for Van Vliet, and Rocky's up by 3. Ruby Collenbeck back to serve. She'll take it to the middle. Brown chases West a little. Gregg cross court, dug out. Kapinga sweeps it over. Back to Gregg, off the block and down. And LC gets the side out, 12-10, and Brooke Kaava coming into the game for the Warriors. Rachel Gregg has had her trip through the front line, and now she will go back to serve. Rocky looking over their shoulders again. They allowed LC to get within 1 last little run for LC, and now they got it down to 2. Judish perfect to Hildeman to the outside. Russell blocked back beautifully by Aubrey King. Another block at the net for LC, keeps it alive. To the backside to King. The dump shot swept into the air for Bad Bear. What an adjustment for Bad Bear. Brown, West, Van Vliet, miss. The lead is 3 for Rocky. Van Vliet chose the short angle, and it was too short for her swing that time. Annie Cook bounces into the game for the Battlin Bears. In the second set here on Friday Night Volleyball at the Fortin Center in Billings, Montana. Annie Cook shoots it back to Gregg. West over the head of Van Vliet, and Kaava saved it. Russell gets blocked out of bounds. Give the kill to Russell, and Rocky pulling away. 4-point lead for the hometown Bears. And that prompts the timeout from LC State. Sean Pullman says, let's talk it over. We're back in 30 seconds.
Order your prescriptions filled and refilled online at BillingsPharmacy1.com. Although the friendly, competent staff at Pharmacy One are well worth seeing in person or talking to on the phone, they understand that there are times when you just need to get it done. And that's where the online refills at BillingsPharmacy1.com and delivery in the Billings area makes your health a priority. Billings Pharmacy One. So happy to help keep you and your family healthy. 2900 12th Avenue North.
It's always fun to look at the Massey Ratings, which is kind of a separate rating system, and they list Rocky Mountain College as number 5 in the nation behind Park, Grandview, Dordt, and Columbia. They have the second strongest schedule in the nation right now. Based on their wins and losses, they are number 2 in strength of schedule, and I don't see number 1 on the front sheet. So number 3 is Dordt. Those two had a real epic battle in a preseason tournament, and I think Rocky won on that one, but those two are pretty evenly matched. It'd be fun if those two get together at the Nationals. And we are ready to go here out of the timeout. Rocky trying to pull away, 14-10 with the lead here at First Interstate Bank Court. Gianni Brown tight to the net. West had to save it, pushed over. Collenbeck sees it coming. Outside to Russell. Dug out by Gregg. All the way back to Rocky. Hilderman outside again. Russell, this is off the aerial. That's side out LC. It's going to be some red and white on that ball after bruising the aerial on the way by from Daniela Russell. And we want to say hi to Natalie Hilderman's uncle tuning in Spokane tonight. Maybe next match I'll have a name for you. I just know his brother said my uncle's listening in Spokane. Here's Hilderman, backside, Kapinga, she misses. 2 in a row for LC. Rocky giving it away out of the timeout. First an aerial, now an errant Kapinga. And Gianni Brown goes through her preparation to serve. Now goes, skims the net, the flop covered by Hilderman. That's a great play. Those flops are almost impossible to get on top of. Swept into the air by West. Here's a bump set to King. Off the block, Kapinga makes the adjustment. The set back to Kapinga for the left-handed smash and the kill. 15-12. Hannah Pond, nope, Lauren West gave a jump at it and couldn't steer it back. And Kapinga moves off the front line after getting the side out for the Battlin Bears. Number 8, Rocky. And into the net for Kapinga. 15-13. Jordan Phelan comes back into the game for the Warriors. LC got it to within 1, then Rocky opened it up again to a 4-point lead, and then LC fought right back. That's kind of the match I thought this would be, just from the history and what I saw LC warm up with. Kapinga cross court, dug out by Phelan. The quick, pushed over, covered by Rocky, out to Russell. Down the line, another line shot. This time she missed the aerial, and Phelan just waved at it. And Rocky side out as Russell goes back to serve. Russell and Lamy are doing it all on the attack for Rocky tonight. 10 kills for Lamy so far. I thought Brown was going to hit it to me, but Kaava stood in my way. Russell, perfect to Hildeman, out to Lamy, and Lamy gets another one. Just on cue, that's 11 for her. Daniela Russell hitting .412, Lamy hitting over 500. Wow, and they changed the attack numbers in the first set, so something was wrong about the attack numbers. I'll straighten that out for you in a minute. Rachel Gregg, bump set, Kaava, cross court. Russell is there, Hildeman tries the dump, no good, back to Kaava, she reaches back, pushed back by the Bears. And Kaava tries to smother that at the net, but Rocky gets under it. Out to Lamy. Blocked back, touched last by the Bears, and Lamy gets another load and another dig from LC. Here's Kaava, she has to wait for the ball to come down. They load up Lamy one more time, parallel to the net, easy cover for LC. Back row attack for Gregg, in the crowd, off of Kapinga. And it's a 2-point lead for Rocky. So we talked about a 395 kill efficiency for Rocky in that first set. Actually, it was 288, and then LC not bad either. Still really good, 277, but must have been some problems with some of the stat keeping on that first set, and they kind of brought him back to earth on the kill efficiency. Colin Beck pops it up to Hildeman. Lamy dug out. Phelan has that one. Here's the attack for Rocky. Back to Lamy. Bounce off the block. Phelan covers the misdirection. Out to Gregg. High off the block. Swept into the air for Lamy. Bump set right into the arms of LC for the kill from Lauren West. Lauren West goes on one when the overpass went right to her and she caught Rocky out of position. 17-15. The lead is 2, and trying to find the server. There she is. Hannah Pond will come out of the bench with her wraparound serve. Colin Beck pops it up. Here's Gallagher. A little push over the top. Pond gets there. Here's Gregg. Loads it up. Feathers it off the block. Covered by Kapinga beautifully. Out to Lamy. Lamy for the kill and the side out. 12 kills for Lamy. She's got to be up near 550 now in the attack. 11 digs for Rachel Gregg so far. And here goes Miranda Gallagher. Deep ball to Pond. Perfect to West. Gregg straight down. Deflection. That's down. Gregg got on top of that one, and Colin Beck got it in the air, but the cover never got there, and it sailed under the net. 18-16. And number 18 for the Warriors back to serve, Sydney Lawrence. So chat us up if you can on YouTube tonight and tell us what you think, where you're tuning in, and if you're having a good time on Friday night watching volleyball, pushed over by Naomi Badbeer. Or if you want to do it from KURLradio.com, just send an email to Herm@KURLradio.com. Tell us what you think of Montana volleyball and LC State volleyball. West, the set, and through the block and down. And give that one to Alexa Van Vliet. That was pure power, and she pulled that thing where she goes below the meat of the block and jams it in. And LC back within 2. What a terrific competitive match this is tonight. Here's West. West takes it deep, tight to the net, put away at the front row. It's a 1-point game. Rachel Gregg lit up Rocky with that overpass put away, 19-18. For the tie again, as LC has fought back to within 1, and Lauren West, one of the best setters on the team, is going to pull out something special here. Colin Beck gets under it with a pop-up. pushed over somehow by Kapinga. LC a little bit disarrayed. Now they push it over to set up the attack for Rocky Mountain College. Stuff block. Lamy gets it covered somehow. And the quick push to the backside. Gianni Brown didn't leave her position. Beautiful. And that's behind the aerial Rocky Mountain point. That chased Aubrey King behind the up ref. And Rocky is first to 20 to 18. And Ruby Collenbeck back to serve for the Bears to try to pull away once the team hits the 20s. That was deep, played perfectly by Brown. Gregg pushes it over. Now she'll come to the near side and block on Kapinga. Swept into the air for West. They're going to go to King. Blocked out of bounds, and that's going to be a kill. That was close to being a 4. You could see the up ref thinking about it, but the line judge came right up with that tip call. That was one of those either way kind of calls that you're going to be right or wrong either way. 2019, LC back within 1, and Rachel Gregg back to serve. Floats it to the backside. Hilderman to the outside. Russell dug out by Rachel Gregg. Here's Kaava to the back line for the tie. Brooke Kaava, all the way from Hawaii, puts the tie on the scoreboard. 2020. Rachel Gregg will try to get LC the lead. It's 2020 vision down the line, and she gets the ace as Russell backed away. So Gregg got a little bit daring with that serve, and she pays it off. She runs to the sideline to high-five the coach. LC has fought back for the lead, 21-20, back in 30.
on your home and auto insurance. The Tronston Insurance Agency. Call 652-4422.
37 wins on the season when you combine both of these squads, and just 7 losses. That is some pretty good volleyball, and we are seeing an example of how well each team can play here tonight. When I sat down, I usually get here about 40 minutes before the match, and you watch teams warm up, and boy, LC was having fun and loose and comfortable and just hounding the ball, and not that Rocky wasn't, but they were not intimidated coming in here against an undefeated team, and they may end up losing, but they are playing their hearts out right now and not playing like they're going to lose. And Rachel Gregg back to serve, floats it back to Russell. Here's Hildeman to Kapinga, and it's down. Kapinga gets the tie. That's one of those in the huddle. Lori said, remember Haley Kapinga. We've been going one way. LC's been blocking one way. Let's find our terrific right side hitter, and it worked. Annie Cook, have to mic up the huddle sometime too. We should get this into a real full-blown mics everywhere kind of thing. Big swing from the middle, kept alive. It's going to be on the floor for the LC lead. Aubrey King with the middle shot. The cannon shot. She better license that arm because it's a weapon. And Gianni Brown will try to move LC closer. 1-point lead for the Warriors. As we pause, now she'll load it up. The quick wrist swing back to Cook. Perfect pass out to Russell, and she gets the tie. Russell with the answer. 2-2, 2-2 on the board. We're in the 2 period, so all 2s on the board right now as Kapinga goes back to serve. Haley from the right corner shoots it back to Brown, and they give her an ace even though it was a half a foot long. And Gianni Brown is shaking her head. She took a chance, and the line judge didn't help out on that one. Might have been some ball dust that hit the back line. And LC is going to try to regroup from that ace. Rocky takes the 23-22 lead. Timeout, Sean Pullman, and the LC Warriors back in 30.
Billings Clinic Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Sports Specific Training Program to maximize your agility, power, speed, and strength while decreasing your chance of injury. For more information, visit EliteSST.com.
Well, Rocky does not want to go down 2-0 in their home gym, even though they've been to many 5-set matches this year, and they've been about 50-50 on them, maybe a little better than that. They won one on Tuesday night against MSUB, which is a NCAA Division II team in the GNAC conference. Probably a lot of these LC State Warriors are recruited by some GNAC schools, as there's a ton of Northwest U.S. kind of schools in that GNAC conference. Here's Kapenga to try to get Rocky to set point. Floats it back to Gregg, perfect pass to West, to the backside, high bounce off the block, covered by Rocky. They load up Russell. Russell gets Rocky to set point. And Gianni Brown is kicking herself. She took a chance on that serve from Kapenga and gave up an ace, and now she missed that one. That was not her fault on that one. That was just pure blur. Pure blur. I like that one. Gregg plays it. Set point. Big quick. That's going to be down. Rocky wins. A block at the net goes right past Sydney Lawrence, and we got a good one here tonight. Rocky comes back to win the second set, 25-22, after LC fought back to tie it. After being close, they tied it up in the 20s and gave away the win to Rocky with some excellent finishing skills from the Battlin Bears. We're back with set number 3 in 2 minutes.
Building a new home or replacing windows and doors? Look to Pella Windows and Doors. Pella offers high-efficiency windows and doors built specially for you. Pella offers pre-finished interiors and exteriors and innovative between-the-glass blinds and shades. Your expert Pella representative will help you design and enhance the beauty of your home, whatever the size or budget. Visit your Pella showroom in Billings at 2520 Grand Avenue. Pella, viewed to be the best.
Roger Daniel is your local farmer's insurance agent. Right over there on Broadwater Avenue. Roger's family's been a farmer's family since 1952. Same farmer's family, different generation, but the same exceptional service. So when you need insurance for home, car, motorcycle, RV, life insurance, or insurance on your family business, farm, or ranch, call Roger. 252-3411. 252-3411.
The Gym at Stewart's House of Vacuum.
Treat yourself and do something nice for somebody else when you stop by the store and check out the Jill. When you purchase a Jill, you'll be getting a vacuum cleaner that is exceptional, and the best part is that with every purchase of a Jill, a portion of the proceeds will benefit Jill's Wish, which is a foundation that benefits families that are struggling with the hardships dealing with breast cancer. Get a great vacuum cleaner and make a difference in someone's life. Stop on by the store today because we've got a Jill waiting for you.
At Stewart's House of Vacuum.
When those students walk in the door, I'm on. Kids rely on me and trust me with their futures. When every day counts, there's no time for pain. So when my knee got bad, I turned to the specialist at Ortho Montana and their computer-assisted navigation system. This job isn't easy, but it's worth it, and I'm glad to be back. When you can't afford to chance it, trust your knee to the computer-assisted navigation system only at Ortho Montana. Small measure.
Well, it's similar to golf's Friday, where it's moving day at the tournament, and with everything tied up, this will be a huge lift to whoever wins this one. Rocky hit 196 in the second set. LC State hit 170 as the defenses started to catch up. Let's check some heroes for each team. Lamy is hitting at 423. I had a Dodge Coronet, I believe. That was a 420 at one time. Anyway, 12 kills, 26 swings, 1 miss. That's another terrific night. Russell is at 318, 8 kills, 22 swings to go along with 8 digs. For LC, Rachel Gregg, 9 kills, 24 swings, 250, 13 digs leads her team. Gianni Brown has 11. And behind her, Alexa Van Vliet with 5, 6 for Aubrey King, 4 for Sydney Lawrence, 4 for Brooke Kaava. Good balance on both teams. Let's go. Set number 3. Hold on. We are going to have a good finish here tonight. Very evenly matched teams, at least on this night and through the first 2 sets. And LC will serve first, and that will move Lauren West, who already has 3 aces tonight, back to serve. West starts her approach underneath the basketball hoop, serves it out. Rocky has the lead. There is a women's basketball game here today and a men's basketball game, and the athletic department had to turn it all around for volleyball, and they did it without breaking a sweat. Well, I guess Desmond broke a sweat. That's what he told me. Aubrey King hits the back line. We're tied up. Aubrey smokes the back corner. It's a lot of work to put everything together time and time again. Plus, there were 2 other Rocky Mountain College events going on today. So outside of this gym, Rachel Gregg back to serve for LC. Just a typical day for a Frontier Conference team. Perfect pass from Kapinga, loading up Lamy, who's red hot. That didn't go down that time. To the outside, blocked back, out of bounds. Solid stuffer, but blocked out of bounds. Lamy was there on the stuff, and the kill is going to go to Aubrey King. LC with a 1-point lead as Rachel Gregg goes back again to load it up. Going to give her a fresh ball. She didn't like the feel of that one. Got to put an extra pound in it or something. Now she's ready, and she will step into her serve. Colin Beck has the pass to Olivia Lamy off the top of the block. Gregg gets a hand under it. Brown runs it down. Back row push. Misses out the back door. Gregg decided not to free ball it. She put something on it, and that something turned into a point for Rocky. 2-2, Battlin Bears. LC tied up as Ruby Collenbeck from Forsyth, Montana, goes back to serve. Swept into the air by Gregg. Here's the shot to Kaava. Judish digs it out to the backside to Kapinga. She fluffed it. Never got it over the net. There have been nights that Kapinga has been amazing. Tonight she's just good so far. And most of the night she's amazing, but tonight we'll just give her a good category so far, and that's not really bad either. It's just you're not used to seeing errors out of Kapinga. Gianni Brown sets and loads, skims the net for the ace. That little skim of the net threw off the platform of Daniela Russell, and LC has doubled up on Rocky 4-2. And Gianni Brown will go back to serve again. And Gianni Brown from Phoenix Chandler High School serves it out, side out Rocky, 4-3. Into the game comes Annie Cook for the Battlin Bears. To the bench goes Judish and Bad Bear. Gallagher will come in as well for Rocky Mountain College. Here's Cook with the left hand. Into the net. 2-point lead for LC. This third set is proving to be a little bit messy for both teams. Jordan Phelan back to serve. Wait till you get to the 20s, though. Everyone will be playing lights out. You can't expect to play at the same incredible level for an hour and a half. There's an ace. And give Jordan Phelan the ace. Dropped in the sinker ball. And sometimes those late jumps from the back row have to do with the players screening out, even though it's inadvertent, screening out the view of that ball coming. Here's Phelan again. This time Heaslip gives up the ace. So 2 aces in a row, and suddenly LC's living well, 7-3 here at Rocky Mountain College. I have called some terrific 5-set matches here between these two squads through the years. This is the first male coach for LC that I've had the privilege of calling a team of. They've had two women's coaches the first bunch of years that I've been doing broadcasting, and now a male coach finally for LC, and a point for LC on a misplayed ball by Heaslip. And LC is up by 5. Here's Jordan Phelan having a good service run. Heaslip was thinking about that one, got the pass, and then Russell got it on the back line. So a much needed side out for the Battlin Bears as they went to their outside hitter. And Haley Kapinga gets set. Deep to Brown, tight to the net, pushed over by West, covered by Kapinga. Hilderman to Russell, Russell off the block. Good pass to the center, bump set out to Kaava, cross court. Collenbeck has the dig, sweeping dump shot, covered by LC. Back row attack by Gianni Brown to Kapinga. Here's Russell off the block, and it still got punched up in the air by Phelan. Rachel Gregg, the jumper from the back row. Pushed behind the block by Gallagher, covered by Brown. She reads those really well, and then Phelan just muscles it off a Heaslip. And LC is up by 5. She went just below the chin of Heaslip, and Heaslip gave up the point. And into the game comes Hannah Pond for LC. And she will start with her back to the stand so everyone can see her number if there would be fans behind her, but there aren't any tonight. Hannah Pond shoots it perfectly back to Collenbeck. Here's Russell, and Russell gets the kill. Boy, when in doubt, go to Russell. And when Hildeman does that, she's going to pad her assist numbers tonight. LC gives up the side out, still up by 4. And number 4 back to serve, Daniela Russell from Red Lodge. If you check the Montana State High School Association volleyball page, there's a picture of the state champion Red Lodge volleyball team, and Hilderman and Russell are right there as they're celebrating a championship. Here's a set to Gregg, through the block and down. LC's at 10 to 5. Gregg reached back into the artillery zone and hit it off the block. Sure woke up the people sitting in the front row. And back to serve goes Sydney Lawrence. Into the net, side out. Takes her foot off the pedal temporarily. I got a lot of car references. I guess I should stay with the right sport here. Back to serve Miranda Gallagher for the Battlin Bears. Loads up the jumper. Brown pops it up, run down by West. Here's the back row attack for Phelan. Deflection by Collenbeck, run down by Kapinga. And then Gallagher pushes it over, out to Gregg, and a double is called on the set. 2 in a row for Rocky. Too much hand on that set in transition. That's usually when that call comes, is when players are transitioning after a good defensive play. So the lead is down to 3 for the Warriors as Miranda Gallagher loads it up. Deep ball, side out, LC. And Rocky takes their foot off the pedal. Lauren West will go back to serve for the Warriors. And she's ready now, walks into her approach, feathers the net. Judish is there, out to Lamy, tight to the aerial. Just missed the aerial. Brown from her knees makes a play and then pushed over by Aubrey King off the net. Back to Lamy for the 10-foot swing. Tight to the net, and it's going to be Rocky with a roofing call. Yep, the roofer comes out. Got to get a roofer as a sponsor on these games, but you don't get a lot of those calls, so I could have that roofing call sponsored by Blue Blah, Blue Blah. And back to serve, Lauren West, 5-point lead for LC. West rockets, Judish passes, Lamy kills, and a step block for LC. Rachel Gregg gets mobbed by her teammates. Everyone on that LC sideline rushes out to celebrate that one. 13-7, and now we may get a bench warning of some kind as the captain called over and visiting with the up ref, not sure, but there was a lot of celebration on the sideline that time. Maybe that's what it was about. I couldn't read lips because the up ref has a whistle in his mouth. And back to serve goes Lauren West. West cross court, Collenbeck up to Hilderman, sweeps it over, covered to the backside, through the block and down. There's Aubrey King. And LC State can do no wrong in this one. We are going to see someone I haven't seen in the game before for Rocky, and that'll be Morgan Allen from Three Forks. So Morgan Allen gets the 911 call from Rocky as Rocky is down by 7. And Lauren West back to serve. She serves it out, so it must have worked. Morgan Allen's presence was enough to bring about that missed serve. And Natalie Hildeman goes back to serve for the Battlin Bears, trying to make up some ground here on the lead by LC. Hildeman cross court. Pass is good by Gregg. The set out to King. Stop block for Morgan Allen. Kapinga right there. Morgan gets high five, actually low five by her teammates. And 2 in a row by Rocky. 14-9. Kapinga goes cross court. Gregg has the pass. The quick. Can't get it through the block of Rocky. So the reload. Right there is Hildeman. Kapinga with the blind dump. She does that too apparently. Out to King. Swept into the air. Pushed over by Kapinga. Saved by LC. Back to Rocky. Here's the set. Outside Lamy. Stopper for Aubrey King. 15-9. Frantic rally, and LC had one play more than Rocky. And Brooke Kaava into the game for LC. Rachel Gregg back to serve. Morgan Allen still out there. She's earned a stay in the game mode. Long run for Hildeman. The set to Lamy. Lamy off the block. Reach out and grab by Kaava. Tipped over the block, and a lift is called on the tip. That ball was spinning, pretty easy call even for yours truly. 15-10, side out Rocky. Ruby Collenbeck back to serve. And she will set up in the middle of the floor, load up the left hand. Take it deep. The set out to Kaava, stopper for Kapinga. And Rocky is within 4. All of a sudden things are clicking. The substitution of Allen, she got a big stuff block. Couple of more plays. Suddenly it's a tight game, at least getting tight. 15-11. Swept into the air by Gregg. Back row attack for Gregg. Into the donut hole. Diving save for Collenbeck. Out to Russell. Russell off the block. Brown calmly right there in the right spot. King cross court for the kill. Got a touch at the net from Russell, and that steered it out of the way of the back row defender, and LC gets a big side out there to maintain the 5-point lead as Gianni Brown goes back to serve. Brown sets up, far corner. Two-step approach, and then quick wrists it over. Judish on target with the pass. They load up Kapinga on the backside. Yep, that's there. You know, they really worked the Russell and Lamy rotation on the outside hitter position, and Kapinga just kind of waits around, picks her spots, and uses her 40-inch vertical to get up and hammer it. 16-12. And back to serve goes Caitlin Heaslip. Heaslip, deep ball to Gregg. Good pass up to West. And the swing to Sydney Lawrence finds the floor. LC State matching great plays with Rocky tonight. And we're all tied up at 1 set apiece. Back to serve goes Jordan Phelan for the Warriors. Phelan just over the net. Hildeman sets up Kapinga, back row attack, at least a backside attack. Here's Gregg with the back row attack. High bounce off the block, puts it in play for Heaslip. Back to Kapinga. The dig is there. To the backside to Phelan. Is there a touch? Ooh, that might have been a touch there, but no call on that. Phelan is not complaining, so that means there wasn't a touch. 17-13. Rocky within 4 as Haley Kapinga goes back to serve. Brown perfect up to West. To the outside to Kaava. She had to make an incredible gyroscope play over there to steer that inside the aerial. And that little extra adjustment let the Rocky block get back to the ground, and it ball fell right at their feet. And that's an LC State point after that 45-minute explanation. 18-13. Hannah Pond back to serve. Pond back to Collenbeck. Bump set by Hildeman. Here's Russell into the corner. Long run. Nobody gets there. Russell gets the kill. There was actually a blocker in front of the LC State chaser, and that kept her from getting to that ball because that was pretty high in the air. And Rocky kind of hovering around the 4 points back mode, not going any farther back for now. Here's Daniela Russell. Phelan tight to the net, pushed over by West. Hildeman loads up Lamy. She pushes it over, fluffs it a little bit. Set to the outside. Pushed over by Hannah Pond. Here's Lamy. High bounce off the net. Easy cover. The middle set to Lawrence. Covered by Kapinga. That was a quick reaction out to Gregg. She tips it into the double block. Push to the corner. Heaslip is there. Long rally. Lamy tries Pond. Pond is there. The quick into the block. LC covers again. Gianni Brown pushes it delicately to Lamy, and then Lamy, another attempt covered by Phelan. And finally to the floor for Rachel Gregg. You heard the thump on YouTube and on your KURLradio.com stream. That's a thump provided courtesy of Rachel Gregg, 19-14. And Sydney Lawrence will go back to serve, and into the game comes Alexa Van Vliet. Lawrence, and they're going to redo that rotation. I think cost LC a point. They ran somebody in late. Brown came out, Van Vliet came in, and suddenly there was a rotation error called, and an easy point for Rocky, and they're back within 4. Here's Miranda Gallagher. Serves it out. LC's at 20-15. Krista Judish. Well, if Lori liked that 5-set match the other night and what it did for her team and how it crisped them up, so to speak, like in the refrigerator crisper, well, she's going to get another one she likes tonight if somehow Rocky wins, because this one is a tough match, and they still have Tech tomorrow night. You wonder if anything's going to be left in the tank. And a miss for Lauren West. Once again, Rocky idles to within 4. Natalie Hildeman back to serve. Hildeman loads it up, sends it cross court. Gianni Brown, perfect pass up to West. The set back to Gregg. Gregg covered by Hildeman, pushed to the back row by Kapinga, covered. Bump set out to Gregg. Gregg cross court. Colin Beck is there. Hildeman to Kapinga, cross court. It's good. Donut hole time for Haley Kapinga. 20-17. And Rocky is as close as they've been in a long time in this third set. They're within 3. Hildeman up to West. Out to Aubrey King. Bounce off the block. Makes it easy. Back to Kapinga for the push down the line. And it's called good. Oh my. That is being questioned. And now Sean Pullman calls the timeout as the lead is down to 2. The kill goes down for Kapinga. 20-18 LC in the third set. We're back in 30 seconds.
It's been estimated as much as 80% of the learning a child does occurs through his or her eyes. Doctors Doug and Kevin McBride, Joe Steiner, and Sean Lepsock will make sure poor vision is not impairing your child's ability to learn or perform on the field. Call Doctors McBride, Steiner, and Lepsock at 656-7605 or stop by 2120 Grand Avenue to schedule an appointment or go online at McBrideVision.com.
Quick timeout for LC to try to regather after things have gone south for them. It was mostly a 5-point lead most of this set. Then it was a 4-point lead, and all of a sudden it has eroded down to a 2-point lead. And guess what? Some of that confidence that LC's been playing with is on the verge of going away here. And Coach Pullman, to his credit, saw the need there to call that timeout, and still a conference going on between Coach Pullman and the down ref. I think they're going to finish that up before they start. And everyone goes quiet so they can listen in. Natalie's dad calls from behind to get going. And back to serve, Natalie Hildeman. Gianni Brown, West, pushed over by Van Vliet, covered. Here's Lamy off the block, on the floor. It's a 1-point game. The block steered it away from a dive by Gianni Brown. And now Sean Pullman has to earn his keep here just to save this one. Brown tight to the net. West has to sweep it out of the net, pushed over by Van Vliet. Hildeman to Kapinga, stabbed into the air by Brown. Here's the attack for Aubrey King. Off the block, covered. Kapinga, bump set to Lamy, pushed behind the block, covered by West, bump set by Brown, out to Gregg, pushed back by the block of Rocky. They load up the other side to King, and they don't get it over. It's all tied up. Rocky has come back from being down most of this set. They've tied it up at 20. And we've got a 5-point set. And still out there for Rocky on the rotation is Morgan Allen. This is crunch time. King punishes it for the kill. LC takes the lead. A quick set in the middle, and that was a rocket. And into the game comes Brooke Kahaba. Rachel Gregg moves off the line to try to get some space again and take this one home with her team, 21-20. Tough place to play over the last several years to come into Rocky, and LC is doing just fine so far. Lamy blocked out of bounds. We're tied up, 21-21. Lamy with yet another kill. She is having a scrapbook night here. Ruby Collenbeck back to serve. She takes the left hand back to Brown. Perfect pass to West. They need a kill here. King gets popped up, covered by Kapinga. Russell to the back row. Gregg is equal to that smash. Dump shot. Hildeman gets it over. West, the quick. And that's going to be on the floor. LC leads 22-21 as Van Vliet hooks it away. And into the game comes Sydney Lawrence. Tight one here in the third set. Nobody wants to give up this third set. And right now, LC has the ad. Gianni Brown back to serve, sends it deep. Tight to the net, and a duel at the top of the net. It's roofing on the new gal, Sydney Lawrence, and we're tied up. Lawrence just came in. That was an impossible thing to do. If she let it go, it might have hit the floor. She went up to try to put it away, and she got tagged with the roofing call, and we're tied up at the twos again. 2-2, 2-2. And Caitlin Heaslip back to serve. Cross court, popped up in the air by Gregg. West, and a miss out the back door. Rocky leads. Aubrey King goes long, and what happened? Oh, they called a touch. So give the point to LC. A touch on this side that had to be Gallagher or Russell. And the point goes to LC, and they're 1 point away from taking Rocky to set point. That was a pretty dramatic turnaround there. The whole crowd was celebrating, and then the call came in of a touch, and back to serve goes Phelan. The set outside for the tie. It's down. We're tied up at 23. Russell answers. Forget about the play. Just play the match set out here. Still got some grumblers in the stands. And Kapinga looks over for the signal, and we've got a wet spot on the floor on the LC side. Who knows on this one? LC has come in and handed Rocky everything they want in a match. And Rocky is playing at a high level, so is LC, and I hope you folks on YouTube and on KURLradio.com are enjoying the intensity of this one. I am. 23-23. Here goes Kapinga. And she sends it back to Brown. Perfect pass to West. They're going to set up Kaava for the kill. LC leads 24-23. From the Aloha State. Aloha with that kill. 24-23. And LC has Rocky at set point. This has the feeling of going to a 5 tonight. Hannah Pond will try to take it home for the Warriors. She starts out with her back to the empty stands, loads it up, shoots it across court to Collenbeck. Hildeman sets up Kapinga, bounce off the block, picks it off. Who's going to play it? Bump set to Gregg. Rocky gets under it. Here's Russell. Russell dug out by Gregg, tight to the net, a push, and a net violation on LC. We're going to go to extra numbers. That was also a tough call because there were two teams fighting at the net, and the call came in against LC. So extra numbers in the third set. And Russell back to serve. Deep ball to Phelan. Perfect pass to West. Cross court. Kapinga has the easy dig. Hildeman loads up Lamy. Saved on the back row, and a push over the net. Still playing. Russell, or Gregg rather, dug out. Wild set into the aerial. LC's at 25. Olivia Lamy did everything she could, but that hit the aerial. And now LC has a set point again. Substitution coming up. Remember, LC lost a point on a rotation error on a substitution. Lawrence will come out and back to serve for the first time in the game. Boy, I got to check that one. Josie Miller first. Lori Kelly's going to try to save the day with her team with a timeout. 25-24. Back in 30 seconds, LC leads.
Fall in love with your home all over again. Pella Windows and Doors makes it easy to replace the windows and doors in your home by offering styles and options that fit every budget. Pella can manage your project from start to finish, from initial in-home consultation to final walkthrough. Come see the professionals at Pella Windows and Doors. Now with interest-free financing, Pella makes it easy to fall in love with your home again. Stop by your local Pella showroom today at 2520 Grand Avenue or visit PellaMT.com.
Well, it's bonus volleyball on KURLRadio.com in the third set as we're going to bonus numbers. Right now, LC State has Rocky by the throat in this third set. If they win this point, then they have the 2-1 lead as we head to the fourth set. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Josie Miller back to serve for LC. She is from Redmond, Oregon. Miller sends it deep. Boy, you put a cold server in that situation, and she service errors it. We're tied up at 25. I know you start believing in everybody that plays for you in the heat of the moment, but that was a stone-cold server back there, and she sent it 6 feet long. So we're back to a 25-25 tie. Judas takes it deep. 2 players play it, and that's a double. And now Rocky has LC at set point. So a service error, then a setting error, and Rocky has LC by the throat. And Krista Judish will try to take it home, and the crowd is on their feet. Judish shoots it back to Pond. West to the outside to Russell to Gregg, and it's going to be swept into the air. Push at the net. Save. Pushed again. Brown jumps over people, makes the play. Back to Gregg. High bounce. Lamy stays with it. Back row attack for Kapinga. Swept into the air in the back row by Phelan. Back to Gregg. Lamy tracks that down the net. Bumps it back to Lamy. She's blocked. Then Judish can't get there. We're tied up at 26. That was a classic point, folks. By the video of that point for 2 teams playing hard. We're tied up at 26. Wow. Phelan comes out. These teams are intense. Hope you're enjoying it. 26-26. We start all over again with Lauren West just over the net. And Judish gets there somehow. Free ball will set up the attack for LC. West to the backside. King all the way back to LC. West loads up the outside. And Gregg jams through the block and down. And now LC has Rocky at set point. 27-26. Bonus volleyball on YouTube and KURLRadio.com. And back to serve the setter, the best server on the team, Lauren West, to try to finish it up. Judish with a shank, that does it. LC wins the third set in a frantic bonus numbers special, and LC wins the third set 28-26. We'll take a 2-minute timeout and come back with more from the Fortin Center. Don't go anywhere.
Treat yourself and do something nice for somebody else when you stop by the store and check out the Jill. When you purchase a Jill, you'll be getting a vacuum cleaner that is exceptional, and the best part is that with every purchase of a Jill, a portion of the proceeds will benefit Jill's Wish, which is a foundation that benefits families that are struggling with the hardships dealing with breast cancer. Get a great vacuum cleaner and make a difference in someone's life. Stop on by the store today because we've got a Jill waiting for you.
Back at the Fortin Center, Neil Diamond entertaining us here with Sweet Caroline, and the crowd's enjoying that. Well, in that third set, what a frantic third set that, but they've all been good. I mean, I guess the most recent one is the best one. 167 for Rocky, 193 for LC. Two players with 13 kills now for LC, Gregg and King. King is hitting .313, 13 kills and 32 swings. Gregg is at 190, 19 digs for Gregg, 19 for Brown, 14 for Jordan Phelan. For the Bears, 15 kills for Russell. She's hitting a cool .412. 14 for Olivia Lamy, she's hitting .244. Kapinga, 8 kills, 34 swings, 176. 13 digs for Kapinga lead the way. Hilderman has 12, 4 blocks for each team. LC has the lead. The Herm Elenbaas momentum meter has swung back to the LC State Warriors here at Rocky. Remember, Rocky undefeated in conference play. They're trying to roll through the season and stay in the top 10, earn a good seed in the Nationals. But boy, they play Montana Tech tomorrow night. They have Providence, who's also rated to finish their season next week. Rocky serves first, so they want to get out of this with a win, but it is going to be a yeoman's task here. Go look up yeoman. Stopper for Kapinga. Haley Kapinga says no to Rachel Gregg. And it's 1-0 Rocky. Solid start for the block of Rocky. And Natalie Hilderman back to serve. See if Rocky has a gear they can go to that they haven't been able to cash in on yet. Blocked back by Lamy now. Back row attack. Through the block and down. Aubrey King with the answer. These teams are covering solid blocks beautifully. It really takes some of the blocks off the table when you have a cover that reads those things on each side. And back to serve goes Lauren West, the setter. West loads up the jumper. Remember, we have the Frontier Tournament in Butte coming up, and there's going to be a lot of solid teams going for that championship. The quick put away by the middle, Alexa Van Vliet. And LC leads 2-1. 8-0, the Bears came in. And 8-1 is still a good record, but you don't want to give away a win to another team that is close behind you in the standings. And it's not a giveaway anyway. It would be a hard-fought one. Here's Hilderman, the quick set. Bad Bear, knocked back by the block. This one has to be over, and it's jammed into the block for the kill. Aubrey King. 2 in a row for King. 3-1 LC. And back into the game comes Morgan Allen for Rocky. She was a big lift in that third set. It's a long set. 5-set match the other night. Now they're in at least a 4-set match, and you got Tech coming in tomorrow, who has gone to the Nationals the last 2 years. Lamy to the floor. It's side out Rocky. Olivia Lamy. She will cash in her 15th kill, tying her with Daniela Russell. Colin Beck back to serve. Colin Beck shoots it back to Hannah Pond. The quick to Van Vliet. Another win for Kapinga at the net. She wins with a stuff block on that swing by Alexa Van Vliet, and we're squared away at 3. Who's going to blink first? Will Rocky be able to get this thing tied up and send it to a 5th set? LC says no, we want to get on the bus, get over to Red Robin. Ruby Collenbeck back to Hannah Pond. Here's the backside swing by Gregg. That dribbles to the floor for the kill. LC leads 4-3. Nothing wrong with positioning that I can see. It's just sometimes those blocks don't close it, and that sets up a really weird deflection out of the reach of the defender. Back to serve goes Rachel Gregg. Gregg rockets it back to Heaslip. Here's Kapinga. She's had a good set. This time dug out by West. A bump set to the outside. Slammed into the air by Collenbeck. She lost it, but her teammates covered her. Swept into the air by Gregg off the Kapinga swing. Here's Kaava, but she doesn't get a chance because a double is called on the set, and we're tied up at 4. 4th set. LC leads 2-1 here at the Fortin Center in Billings, Montana. 406 country. And Annie Cook back to serve. Brown tight to the net. Saved out of the net. Swung, blocked back by Miranda Gallagher. Covered again by LC. That's through the block and down for Aubrey King. And what a set she's having. 5-4. She's had 3 kills in the first 5 points for the Warriors. And Gianni Brown will go back to serve. You're watching YouTube and listening to KURLradio.com. Load up those chat rooms, guys. This is worthy of some chatting. Brown down the line, Kapinga perfect. The set out to Russell. Russell knocked back by the block. A bump set by West. Here's the bump set to Ka'awa, and she missed it. And we are tied up at 5. Ka'awa a little bit wide on that short target. And Haley Kapinga from Skyview High, about 4 miles from here, will go back to serve. She's going to be wrapping up her home career here at Rocky tomorrow night. Back row attack for Gregg. Swept into the air by Kapinga. Here's Russell. High bounce off the block. Back to Gregg. Here's Aubrey King. King gets it off Kapinga. Run down by Annie Cook. Kapinga takes over and 3 balls it over. West, the quick set to the backside. Pushed over and covered by the King swing. And Russell hits the back line for the Rocky lead. Once she got it over the block, the back row defense couldn't measure up to the speed of that one. And Rocky leads 6-5. Haley Kapinga back to serve for the Battlin Bears. She's got Rocky the lead. Now she wants to push some points. Gregg perfect up to West. The quick set to Ka'awa. Collenbeck has the dig. Kapinga pushes it over. Reach by Gregg keeps it alive. Out to King. King flat pass up to the front row. And Russell gets stuffed by Aubrey King. And Sydney Lawrence and King celebrate that. We're tied up at 6. I would be surprised if this set goes to bonus volleyball. And Jordan Phelan back to serve for the Warriors. Phelan, the jump set, or serve rather, back to Cook. Here's Gallagher. She's been quiet. Brown settles under that right in front of us, makes the play. Gregg shoots it out, but they play it. Pushed over by Russell. That's down right past Brown. And Ka'awa and Brown exchange a glance that has some words behind it, as neither one of them made the play on that one. And Rocky leads 7-6. Daniela Russell back to serve. They should have media timeouts on these long ones. Lauren West, back row attack to Phelan, blocked at the net. That's going to be on the floor on the block. Miranda Gallagher snuffs it out, 8-6 Rocky. Phelan went right over the tape, and right there was Miranda Gallagher with the meat of the block, and LC couldn't get it up. Back to serve Russell. Gregg, perfect pass to West. The slide set to Lawrence. High bounce off the block, and it finds the floor. Cook misplays that one, and side out LC State. Looked like there was time to get to that one, but it sure didn't happen that time. And Sean Paulman checks the timeouts and wants to check the lineup before there's a rotation error. So we will pause here a minute. And don't forget, we have volleyball on 93.3 FM and KURLradio.com and YouTube tomorrow night, as it's senior night here at Rocky Mountain College. Haley Kapinga, a senior. Ruby Collenbeck, a senior. So it won't take too long to go through the festivities. And Hannah Pond back to serve to try to get this into a tie for the pride of Lewiston, Idaho. And she shoots it back to Collenbeck. Slide set, Gallagher on the floor. You know, they found another hitter that the block is not loading up on for LC, and it's starting to work. Into the game comes Morgan Allen, and what do you do with Morgan Allen? You know, she came in with a live arm in that last set, and you get your tendencies going for LC. You just got to play it straight up now. And now that Gallagher found the floor a couple of times, here's Brown, perfect pass to Lauren West. Gregg knocked back by the block at Hilderman. They load up Gregg again. That's going to find the floor. Morgan Allen and Hilderman let that block leak down the net for the LC point. And LC is within 1, 9-8. And back to serve goes Sydney Lawrence. Bump set by Kapinga to Lamy. Diving save. This one has to be over. Phelan saves the day for LC. To the outside. Lamy. Cross court. Pond is there. Another save for Phelan. Then hit out the back door for Gregg. She was all messed up on her transition there and couldn't quite bring it back. You'd like to grab that with a string and pull it back. 10-8 Rocky in the fourth set. Here's Hilderman. Cross court. Brown Shankopotamus covered by West. And into the net by West by Gregg. And she's starting to look a little tired out there. 11-8. She has been working awfully hard for her team, both on defense and the attack and the block. And Sean Pullman sees the same thing and calls the timeout to give his teams a rest. So Rocky has moved out by 3, 11-8. They've got to win this one or their night is over. We're back in 30 seconds. Well, if you're in the fan stands tonight, there's no in-between on this. You can't just watch a game because LC fans had to make the road trip from all over the Northwest, and there's a few of them here. And for Rocky fans, there's not many of them here. They can't really pull out the crowd effect tonight because fans are few and far between. But boy, this is worthy of a sellout crowd tonight in this building. Haven't seen any TV cameras, so we're probably the only media here on YouTube and KURLradio.com. Hilderman tried to stretch the lead. Rocky up by 3. Pond shanks it a little bit, covered. Phelan into the net, and LC State has given away the points here. And Sean Pullman doesn't want to give away this set and plan on winning a 5th. He would like to finish it right here if he can, and he has spotted Rocky. The 4-point lead, that's long. Hilderman with a very rare service error. 12-9. And into the game comes Aubrey King. You'll hear some thunder on your radio when she gets the set. And back to serve goes Lauren West. West, the 6-step approach. Hard serve to the back line, covered. Dump shot, gonna find the floor. Hilderman does her magic, 13-9. Hello, Natalie. Let's just get a point on your own, save everybody the wear and tear on that one. And Rocky's back up by 4 as Ruby Collenbeck goes back to serve. Pond tight to the net. Bumped over, and a lift. They're going to call it double? No, back row something or other. Back row hitter there, so somebody got in and got a hand on that on the attack, and going from bad to worse after the timeout, 14-9. And back to serve goes Rocky's Ruby Collenbeck, one of the 2 seniors tomorrow night. The quick to Van Vliet, she pushes it over and is covered. Kapinga dug out by Gianni Brown to the backside. Aubrey King is covered on the block by Russell. They go right back to King. Cross court, Hilderman has the dig. Russell tries to go on one, and right there is Aubrey King reading that move, side out LC State. Oh my, smart move there by Aubrey King to go right up with Russell. She could see it in her eyes that she wanted to go on one, and Aubrey King sniffed it out, made the play. Side out LC. Is that a momentum shifter? We'll find out. Gregg down the line. Ace! Here we go. LC fighting back. The Rachel Gregg ace as she slipped it down the line, right on the line, a spinner away from the receiver, and it was perfect. 14-11. Gregg loads it up. Same spot. This time Russell passes perfectly. Gets the setback. Swept into the air by Lauren West. Gianni Brown to King. That's through the block and down. LC 3 in a row. Inside the aerial, that is such a tight window on that set, and Aubrey King found the window, opened it up, pushed back the screen, and shot that ball through for the kill. 14-12. Rachel Gregg to make it closer. No, service error. She takes credit for the mistake. like leaders do, 15-12. Annie Cook will bounce into the game to serve. Unless we see it, nope, I thought she was heading back to the bench, but she was just chasing down the loose ball. So Annie Cook has a 3-point lead as she loads up the left-handed serve. Deep to Brown, popped up, bump set by Gregg. The load up by Kava. She's covered, but Elsie gets under it. A fluff by Kaava. And covered by Rocky. Russell, Kaava with a nice cover there on the swing by Russell. Into the back corner and a miss. Just missed. 16-12. Gregg set her targeting system a little bit high. She's going to have to go back to the range and bring it down a little. Here's Annie Cook. Rocky back up by 4, trying to pull away. Brown, West, backside, King off the block, covered on her knees by Cook. Here's Russell cross court for the miss, and Brown laid off. And Elsie's back within 3. And into the game comes Sydney Lawrence, the 6-foot junior middle blocker. She looks taller than that. Gianni Brown goes back to serve. We're in the middle third of the 4th set. Elsie has the 1-set lead. And Rocky has to have this one. So far, they've taken care of business. Brown with a service error. 17-13. As Haley Kapinga goes back to serve. Haley will set herself, now go cross court. Shank right up of the chest of Brown. Back row attack into the net. That never had a chance after that first pass. Everybody was doing stuff out of position, and now Sean Pullman sees it. He's going to try to summon another comeback in this 4th set for his LC State Warriors, and Lori Kelly is going to try to encourage her team home to the victory and play a 5th set, back in 30.
Treat yourself and do something nice for somebody else when you stop by the store and check out the Jill. When you purchase a Jill, you'll be getting a vacuum cleaner that is exceptional, and the best part is that with every purchase of a Jill, a portion of the proceeds will benefit Jill's Wish, which is a foundation that benefits families that are struggling with the hardships dealing with breast cancer. Get a great vacuum cleaner and make a difference in someone's life. Stop up by the store today because we've got a Jill waiting for you.
At Stewart's House of Vacuum.
Coach Pullman taking his time in the timeout. Lori Kelly didn't have much to talk about. Just go win this thing. And he got the 5-point lead. Don't give it away. And then let's go have fun with the 5th set. Sean Pullman has a few more adjustments to make as his team is on the low end of the score. And his team's still pretty happy there. Lots of positive-looking smiles. You can tell these gals all just love the sport. I mean, they just have this glow about them. They're just happy to be doing what they're doing. And Haley Kapinga gets set to load it up and does. Just over the net, Brown, perfect pass to Lauren West. They ran a play. The high bounce is out of reach. Give Kaava the kill. They ran that same inside play that Rocky likes, and good timing for that out of the timeout. LC's at 14. Huge turnaround after the timeout. But they got to keep it up here as Jordan Phelan goes back to serve. Phelan from the left side shoots it deep to Cook. Hildeman, Gallagher, overpass. Gallagher pushes, and a lift is called on LC. Lawrence is tagged with the bad pass call. And Rockies at 19. They held the bleeding to 1 point out of the timeout for LC. Danielle Russell back to serve. Russell from the left corner. Brown, perfect pass to West. Back row attack for Phelan. Kapinga is equal to the dig. Out to Lamy. Lamy down the line in the open corner. And there wasn't much open corner. Lamy's targeting system was in tune there. Rockies at 20, 20-14. Back to serve goes Daniela Russell. She tries the sinker ball, long run for West. The set to Kaava, she gets it down. The block by Hildeman leaked it down the net over the head of Lamy. Lamy 5'9", and she was 5'10", she would have got a hand on that. I think they forgot to put LC's point up. It's 20-14 on the scoreboard. Thought that was their 15th point, maybe not. They're trying to get their attention. They didn't give them now, they did. See, I was right. Hannah Pond, good serve, flipped over. Oh, that was a messy pass. Here's Gregg. Nobody doing what they should be doing so far in this rally, except Gallagher, and she hits it out of bounds. LC at 60. So that point mattered. 20-16, LC trying to come back and make short work of Rocky tonight in 4 sets. Hannah Pond backs up to the crowd again and will come out of her teammates there on your YouTube screen. Now here she is, and she'll load it up and shoot it deep. Hollenbeck perfect, out to Lamy. Lamy feathers it off the block. Long run for West. She has to go around players, and Gregg gets the quick kill. And LC 3 straight. And they're within 3, starting to get that hope button pushed again. As the momentum meter swings back to LC here in this 4th set. Hannah Pond readies herself. Does a little dance move there, now launches. Cross court, Cook, perfect pass to Hildeman. They're going to count on Lamy, and Phelan is equal to the dig. Wow, and Gregg cross court. Hollenbeck gets there, makes the play. Dump shot. Brown keeps it in the air. Gregg covers. Scramble. Phelan, 3 balls to Kapinga. To the outside to Lamy. It's down. Rocky gets the big side out on the Lamy kill off the block. That tip at the net took it just deeper into that corner. Didn't matter. The tip made it a live ball. And Caitlin Heaslip into the game for the Battlin Bears, 21-17. Chat us up on YouTube if you're enjoying this, because it is a classic match here in Billings, Montana. The slide set to the backside, through the block and down for Sydney Lawrence. And a quick side out for LC State. A little right side slide pays off for Sydney Lawrence, and now Lawrence will go back to serve. She's a 6-foot junior middle. And the lead is 3 for Rocky Mountain College, 21-18. Deep serve, Heaslip gets there, bump set to Lamy, and she hits one from the 9-foot line to fall. For once, Phelan did not make the incredible play, and Olivia Lamy is going to take this to the finish line with her teammates. Look at that determination on the faces of Rocky. That's a team that is 8-0 in conference and has 23 wins. They're digging in, boy. And Gregg tips behind the block. Push at the net. Won by Gregg. Kapinga went up with Gregg, and Gregg won the battle. And LC hanging around again, 22-19. Aubrey King comes into the game for the Warriors. Lauren West back to serve. Herm Elenbaas at Rocky Mountain College. Part of the We Love Volleyball fan club. Tipped over by Kapinga. A trick play. Morgan Allen sold that as I'm getting this set. And then Kapinga came out of nowhere to tantalizingly tip it over the block for the kill. 23-19. They had to go to the Halloween trickery there to get that point, and it worked as Hollenbeck loads it up from the corner. Just over the net, Pond, Brown, back row attack for King. Running save for Heaslip. Bump set to Russell. She unloads out. Side out LC, 23-20. And Brooke Kaaba coming into the game from Mauna Loa, Hawaii. It's probably Moana Loa. We'll figure it out. She played at Western Nebraska Community College. LC is running out of time in this one. Rocky's at 23, LC at 20. They need a little run here as Rachel Gregg steadies herself, loads it up. Heaslip perfect. They're going to try Kapinga. High bounce off the block, slows it down to the backside. Aubrey King dug out by Heaslip. Russell gets the load. Gregg steers it back to Rocky. Kapinga pushes it into the block. This one has to be over for Gregg. She makes the play. Hildeman to Kapinga. That's off the block and down. Kapinga has Rocky at 24. She twists it off the block of King, and it goes out of reach. And Rocky has LC at set point to tie it up at 2 sets apiece. Annie Cook back to serve. Loads up the hopper. Back to Brown. Here comes the attack. Brooke Kaaba went over the aerial on that one. No call. Pushed over, and that's it for Rocky. They won. The push over the net by Kapinga goes over the defense on the back row. We're going to 5 sets, folks. One of the most exciting events in sports, the 5th set of a hotly contested volleyball match. And let's see who wins the flip before we go to break. Right in front of us. And there's 2 players right in front of us here. Kapenga for the Bears and Van Vliet. And we don't know. We just know there's a 5th set coming up, and they're going to switch halfway through. Don't go anywhere. I've said that a few times tonight. We're back in 2 minutes.
Roger Daniel is your local farmer's insurance agent. Right over there on Broadwater Avenue. Roger's family has been a farmer's family since 1952. Same farmer's family, different generation, but the same exceptional service. So when you need insurance for home, car, motorcycle, RV, life insurance, or insurance on your family business, farm, or ranch, call Roger. 252-3411. 252-3411.
David Coons and Chris Mulvig at Stifel are committed to offering investors personalized investment guidance. Stifel is a full-service wealth management firm that specializes in a wide range of investment opportunities from the most conservative to the more aggressive. They strive to give each client, regardless of account size, careful individual attention. Call financial advisors Dave Coons or Chris Mulvig today at 252-2447. Steve Stifel, member SIPC and New York Stock Exchange, 252-2447.
Whether your business is large or small, you work hard to achieve success. Take your business to the next level with Western Security Bank's totally free business checking. Open your account with a $50 deposit and enjoy no minimum balance and no monthly service charges. Up to 3,000 items per month. Throw in our free online and mobile asset, and you can make short work of your business banking. Nothing sells like success. Yours, Western Security Bank. Other fees may apply. See fee schedule for details. Bank rules and regulations apply. Member FDIC.
Billings Clinic Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Sports Specific Training Program, SST, and Granite Health and Fitness Elite Sports Performance have joined together to form Elite SST. This partnership creates the most comprehensive athletic and sports performance training in the region. Elite SST provides the most progressive training tailored to maximize your agility, power, speed, and strength while decreasing your chance of injury. For more information, visit EliteSST.com.
Well, Rocky did what undefeated home teams do. They have come back from a 2-1 deficit and took care of that set. They only hit 128 in that set, and on the ninth they're hitting 211. LC started the night with a 395 set. That one was 064, so that shows what a night of hard work does. How about Rachel Gregg? We talked about her being one of the top players in the country. She has 16 kills, 57 attempts tonight, 26 digs. And she is backed up by Aubrey King with 17 kills, 9 for Brooke Carava, and 16 digs for Phelan, 21 for Gianni Brown, 18 digs for Kapenga. She's got 10 kills on the night, 16 for Collenbeck, 15 for Hilderman. Here we go, set number 5. Switch them up at 8, and let's just enjoy this. Frontier Conference volleyball at its finest. Number 8 Rocky and LC State are going to battle down to the wire on this one, and we have been treated to a classic. It's almost one of those nights where I want to rush home and watch this on YouTube because I don't want it to end. So it sounds kind of weird when we're actually doing the broadcast, but it's one of those matches where, boy, it's good. Let's see what it looked like on YouTube. Chat us up on YouTube if you can, or send me a quick email, herm@kurlradio.com. Love to hear from you, see who you're rooting for and where you're listening tonight. It's always good to see how far-flung that internet audience is, and tonight it's all internet. The radio is covering the Senior West football game, which is a huge rivalry locally. So we are treated to all internet listeners and viewers tonight. LC is going to start first at serve. Rocky will be to our left, LC to our right. Lauren West, who already has 3 aces tonight, will get ready to serve and ignite this 5th set. Who's going to be the survivor? Hilderman outside. Lamy into the corner. Kaava got there. Gregg, another kill for Gregg, opens up the set. So good kill, 17 kills now for Rachel Gregg. We talked about her looking a little tired. Well, why not when you're getting 26 digs and 18 kills? That would wear out the most fit person. Arnold would even have trouble with that. Pushed over by Lauren West, covered by Rocky. Here's Lamy. Brown with another dig to the backside. And through the floor for Aubrey King. LC takes off with a 2-0 lead. And Sean Pullman has to be enjoying this. He's 4-4 in conference, and this is the #1 team. He's got some very tough teams coming up. Between now and the end of the season, he has both Carroll and Montana Tech. Rocky has Montana Tech and Providence, so there's no easy road to the finish here. Finally, a side out for Rocky on the miss. Gianni Brown gets it up to West. The quick set. LC ran a play that time. Kapinga will try to get the point. Nope, high bounce off the block. Kaaba gets there. Aubrey King to the line. And it's down. You can hear the crowd. There's quite a few LC people here. And LC is not an easy road trip. You gotta want to go to LC in Lewiston, Idaho from Billings, Montana. You gotta get a map out and everything. 3-1 LC in the 5th set. Rachel Gregg loads it up. Might have been long. Played by Heaslip. The set to the middle to Kapinga. Tries the tip. Not there. Brown all over it. Pushed over. Collenbeck gets under that with a pancake. Out to Lamy. Lamy dug out by Rachel Gregg. To the backside. King off the block and down. LC's up by 3. 4-1. Strong start for LC in the 5th set. I don't know how they have any energy left. Any way you stack it. Maybe they have energy bars in the huddle. Rachel Gregg will try to keep it going here for the Warriors. Gregg, service error, ouch. 4-2. Takes her foot off the pedal for now. But she's had a couple of awesome plays tonight. Probably about maybe 40 of them. And Collenbeck back to serve. 4-2 LC. Down the line, Gregg with a jump pass. The set to Kaaba. Would have been long. Played by Heaslip. Bump set by Hildeman out to Russell. Russell takes it long. And LC gets the side out 5-2. You know what? It looks like LC is taking off strong in this one, but I'll bet you we go down to the wire. Just the way this whole night has felt right here at Fortin Education Center. Lori Kelly forced to call a timeout, regroup. It's 5-2 LC. We're back in 30. Take a breath here myself as you give announcers timeout. Right. Sydney Lawrence back to serve. LC has come out of the gate in this 5th set, doing just what you have to do if you're the visiting team, trying to take the home crowd out of it a little bit. Down the line, Russell, good pass. The set to the backside to Kapinga. Lori Kelly says, let's go back to Haley. Aubrey King, cross court, tight to the net, push, dive, stabbed into the air. The passing error called on Rachel Gregg. That is so sad to get called with a passing error on that, and Rachel Gregg says, while I'm down here, I need to clean up some water. There's some perspiration on the floor. Gregg didn't even get up. She just said, run and get me a towel, and we will take away the hazard here. That slows everything down. And fortunately, no injuries happened because of that moisture on the floor. 5-3. Rocky is within 2. Here's Annie Cook pushing it back to Gregg. Tight to the net. West. Big swing into the block. Covered. Aubrey King feathers it off the block. A bump set by Kapinga to Russell. Bounce off the block. Slows it down. Kaaba makes the play. King behind the block. Swept into the air by Gallagher. Back to Kapinga. Cross court for the kill. And Rocky has fought back out of the timeout with 2 straight. 5-4. Joliet's Annie Cook halfway between Billings and Red Lodge. If you're in Lewiston, looking at a map right now. West to the backside, pushed over and missed. We're tied up. Just like that, 3 points went away. Just like somebody predicted about the tightness of this match. And I understand we are on the radio now, so we have joined 93.3 FM. And we are now offering radio coverage. Aubrey King can't get it over the net. 4 straight for Rocky. And they have taken the lead in the 5th set. And now Sean Coleman wants to calm his troops down. And let's see what Mason told me about the football game. Okay, West won. So West High cruising into the playoffs with a win over arch rival Senior after Senior High had defeated West several times with an awesome streak of football. West won tonight. And we will see if Rocky can maintain their undefeatedness here back in 30. Up Maggie. Rod Stewart's in town tonight as well. So got to turn my gain down, Mason. I'm getting feedback here on my speakers, so turn my feedback of the station down. Thank you very much. I was trying to do a joke there and I lost it with my feedback. But anyway, Rod Stewart also pulling volleyball fans away tonight about 3 miles from here. LC needs a break and Kava got it for the tie. Brooke Kavan. It's 6-6. Coach Coleman calls the Kaava play out of the timeout and gets the tie at 6. So we are down to, what does that make it, a 9-point match here. And back to serve goes Phelan. Phelan puts it in play back to Cook, chases Hildeman a little bit, over to Russell. Russell gets the lead back to Rocky. Boy, that was a sweet pounder from Russell, only a single block over there. Kapinga is heated up here, and that has forced the block to spread out a little bit. And a conversation between the coach, Sean Pullman, and the down ref here going on right in front of me. 7-6 Rocky. Kapinga waits to serve, and another wet floor issue here, and the players know about it. They're playing out on it. They're doing the moonwalk there, the Michael Jackson moonwalk. It's all done. Now Kapinga can try to stretch the lead here for the Battlin Bears. Kapinga with the left hand, cross court, Brown tight to the net. West, the slide set, double is called. That was a messy set, and Rocky's up 8-6. And we're going to switch sides here. As we hit the 8-point mark, we'll keep it right here, all squared away at 2 sets apiece. The biggest margin of victory in this, and I didn't write down the 4th set. I think it was the 4th set, 25-20. Let's see, I can look over here. Yep, 25-20 was the biggest margin of victory tonight in the first 4 sets. Now Kapinga to your right waits, and she will deal it here with a 2-point lead. LC was up 4-1. That is long gone. Kaava fakes the play. Pancake by Kapinga. LC scores. That was a play on the side where the hitter looked like it was going to be the outside hitter, and then the middle came over on a slide. And it's like, who do you block? And they didn't get it done for the Battlin Bears. Hannah Pond back to serve. 8-7. LC within 1 of tying it up. Still a long way to go, and it's the 5th set. Collenbeck to Hilderman, the slide set. Gallagher, it's on the floor. The touch at the net slowed it down. Van Vliet got a little touch on it and cash it in for Miranda Gallagher. 9-7. Daniela Russell. Rocky up by 2 on the home court. Swept into the air by Phelan, going nowhere. Back row attack turns into a little fluff over the net. Here's Hilderman out to Lamy, and the dig is there for LC. Out to Gregg off the block. Lamy gets it across the net. West goes back to the outside, has Gregg on her back heels and can't make the play to Lamy. That would have been a miss. Instead, the ball sails into the balcony, and Rocky gets the kill. That would have been about 6 feet long, but in the heat of battle, it's so tough to make those calls. And Rocky is in the driver's seat, 10-7 in the 5th set. Daniela Russell back to serve. Here's West to the outside. There's the answer from Rachel Gregg. When in doubt, go to your money, gal. And Rachel Gregg is just having a huge night. Kills, digs, she's doing it all. Even the ones that don't end up in the scorebook are solid plays for Rachel Gregg. And back to serve goes Gianni Brown. 10-8, Rocky. Into the net, out. That's a big Warrior ouch there, 11-8. Kate Heaslip comes into the game. She will go back to serve. Rocky can maybe hope here. They're up by 3 in the home stretch. This one's going to 15. And Caitlin Heaslip back to serve. Shoots it over the top to Hannah Pond. The set to the outside to Gregg. There's another smash from Rachel Gregg. Back to a 2-point lead. Rachel Gregg answered the call again with a perfect shoot set smash on the outside. And Lauren West back to serve for LC. The goal here is the first team to 15 or a 2-point margin after 15. West rockets it over to Collenbeck. Free ball by Olivia Lamy. Brown to the backside. Save on the back row by Pond. Right back to Aubrey King for the kill. And LC's within 1. 2 loads to Aubrey King. The second one was the money ball. And now LC has a chance to answer the call and get tied up just like Rocky did when they were down 4-1 early in this set. Lauren West, cross court, popped up by Heaslip. Collenbeck, bump set, Lamy, roll shot over the top. Brown is there. Can Gregg do it again? This time nothing on it, but we're tied up as Rocky deals it out of bounds. 11-11. An errant free ball by Rocky settles outside the inbounds line. 11-11. We're going to 15. And Lauren West rockets it back to Heaslip, tight to the net. The sweep by Hilderman doesn't go. To the backside to King. King gets covered. Free ball by Lamy. Brown, West. There goes King again. Swept into the air by Bad Bear. Lamy gets the load. Stuffer. And LC leads 12-11. LC celebrates. There's that reserve tank of excitement coming back for LC. If you're watching on YouTube, watch the celebration when LC goes to 12-11. We're back in 30 seconds. That's why West football was done so fast, as they shut out Senior 42-zip. That means they got into the mercy rule there at some point in the second half and ran the clock, which gives us a bonus audience on 93.3 FM here for the remainder of this one. 12-11 LC out of the timeout. We're in the 5th set, all squared away at 2 sets apiece. The winner of this one takes home tonight's prize. And back to serve Lauren West. She'll send it over to Heaslip, up to Hilderman, the slide set to Bad Bear, down the line. Pond gets there, saved out of the net. Push for the kill for LC, and they're at 13. Is that Crystal Lawrence? Nope, Aubrey King got that one. And LC just 2 points away from out-dueling Rocky Mountain College tonight. And back to serve goes Lauren West. She serves it out. Wow, tough service error, 13-12. And new life for the Battling Bears. And their best server, Natalie Hilderman, goes back to serve. Only a sophomore. Here's Hilderman. Tries the short one. Brown gets under it somehow. The bump set to the outside. King bounces it off the top of the block. Kapinga sets up Bad Bear. High bounce, covered by LC. Back out to Gregg. Gregg cross court. Collenbeck there with the dig. They go to the backside to Kapinga. Off the block. Covered by Lauren West. Lawrence off the top of the block. Covered. Hilderman to Kapinga. Blocked back. Run down somehow by Heaslip. Here's the attack. Off the net. That never made it over the net. Rocky Point. We're tied up at 13. Sydney Lawrence got too much tape. Chris Coleman thought maybe there was a touch there, but we are going down to the bitter end. The 13-13. Timeout LC. Take a breath. We're back in 30. LC and Rocky. First team to be over 15 and have a 2-point lead will win this one. And it'll be at the end of a hard-fought battle. Hilderman shoots it over to Brown. West is going to load up Gregg. Little deflection. Collenbeck makes the adjustment to Lamy. Into the donut hole. One-arm stab out to Gregg on the other side. That's down the net. Covered with a dive by Lamy. Kapinga battles at the net. Swept out of the net by King. Free ball to the backside. Covered by Heaslip. Here's Olivia Lamy. Through the block and down. Rocky leads 14-13. After people scrambling everywhere, Lamy jams it off the block and down. And now Rocky has LC at set point, match point. Here goes Hilderman. LC cannot make a mistake here. The set pushed over down the line. Kapinga gets there. Back to Kapinga. Short one. Covered by Pond. To the outside. Gregg gets the stopper from Kapinga. And Rocky wins 15-13 in the 5th set. Wow. Rocky wins the final 2 points after it was tied up at 13, and Rocky moves to 9-0, 24-3 on the year with a terrific effort for both squads here in Billings. We'll take a 2-minute timeout, come back and wrap this up. Rocky wins. Well, this place is a madhouse of happiness, and even LC pretty impressed with their performance tonight if you're looking in the eyes of those fans.